You're watching Grassroots Resistance Collective, Texas-grown, people-powered, and unapologetically bold. We expose corruption, amplify real candidates, and give voters the truth the system tries to bury. No spin, no sellouts, just resistance. Let's get to work.
Sorry, my mic was off. All right, here we go. Welcome, welcome everybody. It is a Thursday, October 30th. Thank you everybody for joining us. We are here today with Miss Dominique Payton. She is primarying the incumbent right now of Texas's House District 139. Welcome, Dominique. I really appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, let's just start off. What made you want to challenge the incumbent right now?
So the district that I'm in right now, I'm not originally from. I'm not from Houston at all. I'm actually from East Texas. And I come from the Southeast, which is kind of near Pasadena a little bit. And when I came up here, life was just flipped upside down, honestly. And when I moved over here in January, those school choice vouchers passed in March. And I always knew about politics. I always kept up with what was going on, both on state and federal levels. Well, when those school choice vouchers passed, I said, okay, I'm no longer sitting on social media ranting and raving. Like, I got to get up and be about that action. So I started reaching out to different community leaders, and I got nowhere real quick. I reached out to the state rep, the one that I am actually now about to primary, and got nowhere real quick. I said, okay. I said, that's all right. I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run for office. I'm going to unseat you, and I'm going to show y'all what a real leader is supposed to be. And I'm going to raise up this neighborhood all on my own, because y'all, it's so different over here from what I'm used to. Do y'all know how many front end alignments that I've had to have since I moved over here?
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
I'm not lying to you, y'all. Also. Like, I got receipts. Y'all know, if you follow me on social media, y'all know I got receipts. So I'm just like, who's doing something about these kind of issues? Well, I got out in the community and I started talking to people, and I started networking with different people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this community has been underserved for the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. That's okay. It's a new sheriff in town. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I know you have kiddos, right?
I do. I have 4 little ones.
Okay, and are they in public school yet?
They are all in public school. That's why when those school choice vouchers passed, I got pissed off. Oh, I don't know if we can cuss. Yeah, but I got pissed off. I said, not my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Because I'm a product of public schools. Yeah. So I know the importance of public schools, So I was like, not no more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that you could mix public funds with a private institution. I mean, that right there, it just doesn't make sense, and it shouldn't make sense to anybody. And the reason that you gave, it's like you don't get anywhere trying to talk to these people, reach out to these people. And I have noticed that it has pissed a lot of people off, where it's like, okay, if you're not going to listen to, our concerns, we're going to have to do it ourselves. And we've been seeing, I say this almost every episode, we've been seeing a lot of grassroots people that have almost no experience in politics, but all they do is just read a little bit up on it. And it's like, anybody could do this. I mean, if you have a voice, if you have some kind of a passion, yeah, you could totally do this. And
just think about the people that are currently. Think about the people that are currently in office, the ones that you hear talking every day, that you just think, oh my God, how did you get out of your bed this morning without assistance? If they can be in office, so can you. You just have to want it.
And you know what? I try to tell, and this is a true story, and I pray to God that he watches this one day, because I am letting it be known. I don't care if I'm in Houston. I don't care if I'm in East Texas. When it comes to representation, I do not care anymore. I am originally from House District 7, which is in East Texas. I'm from Wascom, Texas. Jay Dean is the state representative out there. Jay Dean is a Republican. I do come from a rural, district. That's a rural area. That's where a lot of my conservative beliefs come from. And Jay Dean was just so hyped about those school choice. He went in there talking to high schools, and he went in there talking to middle schools, talking about, we're going to vote against them and we're not going to do that to our community. But yet you got to that Capitol and you voted for that school choice. And I said, you know what? And I told him on his social media, I said, you know what? I said, I got somebody to unseat you. I made a phone call. That girl is running for office right now as we speak. Never ran for office a day in her life. And when she announced her candidacy, I shared it on social media, and I at Jay Dean, and I said, I told you I was not playing with you. We are tired of y'all.
Lord, can we have 100 more Dominique Paytons, please?
Baby, please.
We need people starting fires everywhere.
I'm telling you, I told him, I said, not only am I going to unseat you, I said, but we're going to flip that seat. I said, because that's a Republican seat. And she's running as a Democrat.
So you did state that you do have some conservative values.
I do.
You live in Houston. You live in a majority minority district. You live in a high immigration district.
Yes.
How would you approach some of these issues that typically conservatives sort of just shove away and put a big red flag on and just ignore them?
So I truly believe, and I scream it from the mountaintops when I'm in front of crowds, I have conservative beliefs. I'm running as a Democrat, but I am so big on bipartisan relationships, because when you go too far left and when you go too far right, you're not for the people anymore. You're for your own agenda.
Yep, absolutely.
I believe my beliefs. I have my ideology. Prime example, a conservative belief, right? Conservatives believe that you should not have abortions. I used to be, you better not get an abortion. You lay down, you had that child, you better take care of that. That was me. I'm being transparent right now. But I personally was put in a situation just recently. I have a 1-year-old son. Mm-hmm. I'm putting y'all in my business now. I have a 1-year-old son. I seriously contemplated terminating that pregnancy, but in Texas, you can't have abortions. Mm-hmm. So my son's father was like, I don't think you should do this. And I was like, I got to go to law school. I got to do this. I got to do that. I was faced with an opposition. Either you're going to have this abortion and go against your beliefs, mm-hmm, or you're going to have this baby and you're going to stand 10 toes like you all used to talk about. True story, y'all. It wasn't until this past year I said, okay, let's chill out on the whole, abortion thing, because I truly believe that abortions needed to be banned. But being put in that situation alone humbled me so bad. I had my son. Yeah, and he's lovely.
Follow that up, ladies and gentlemen. She had the baby.
I do. I have a 1-year-old, but I don't mind telling that story to a Republican, because you only think one way because that's how you were brought up and that's how you believe. Trust me, I know. I grew up in a rural area. Mm-hmm. If you lay down and you have a child, you're supposed to take care of that baby. It's not always that simple. Mm-hmm. It is not always that simple. So when we're looking at these deep conservative beliefs and they're so far right that they don't even want to try to come to a common ground, if you can just find one of them that will be willing to sit and talk to you and y'all find something in common, forget politics, right? Because the way that this world is turning, it's not even really a left and a right issue, right? This is an up and down issue. But if I can just take one conservative Republican and find a common ground, what is it that we all want? Y'all, you're going to see a change in Texas. I promise you, you're going to see a change in Texas, because the issue is they're not even talking across the aisles right now. So how are you going to come to common ground?
Yeah. Well, I think
that's a real thing.
Yeah,
absolutely. Our state has worked and our country in general has worked so hard to divide us. That really is the biggest threat, is the populace realizing that we have been ducks for way too long and that we need to talk to each other and rise up against the machine. That's what we're trying to do here.
Exactly. It's not a Democrat, Republican, independent, black, white, Mexican. Use your noggin and really pay attention to what is going on, because it's not us versus y'all, it's us versus them.
Because let me tell you something, come Saturday, MAGA is not going to get their food stamps either. MAGA is going to have their insurance premium skyrocket.
And then they're going to be faced with
Do you hear you, friend?
Yeah.
They're going to be faced with that reality.
They don't care. They don't care. Like the government does not care what your political affiliation is unless you're at the voting booth with your finger up there behind. At the end of the day, vote in your best interest. Talk to your neighbor who votes differently than you and find out why. Have a conversation.
And find that common ground. Because let me tell you something. I posted a video on TikTok. And in the video, I was explaining to them how Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, and somebody else, I can't remember right now, all got billions, $18 billion tax breaks. And you voted for Donald Trump, and your food stamps are about to be taken. Your healthcare premiums are fixing to skyrocket. ICE is literally deporting your family right now. How does it feel to be MAGA knowing that these same people that just got these tax breaks are now cutting checks for a $300 million ballroom in the middle of a government shutdown? And one lady got on there and she was like, I don't regret anything. And I said, sweetheart, Trump will deport you so fast. He doesn't care if you are legal or not. Like, come to your senses, child, because I am not the candidate that you want to play with, because I'm not going to put on a mask because I'm running for office.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get with Dominique, because this is who I'm going to be at the Capitol. I really do have this fiery attitude. I really am very passionate about upbringing my community and making Texas better for all of us. But that's going to take the Democrats and the Republicans coming to common ground, because another thing, universal health care. You think those Republicans want to hear about that?
Heck no. But neither do the Democrats, because they're also getting checks from Big Pharma and from the big insurance companies.
Hello, somebody.
They got to go. They all have to go.
I'm telling you, flip the whole table up. I tell people all the time, I'm not at this point. I used to pray and I used to ask God, work on my attitude, calm me down a little bit. No, you don't have to do that anymore, Lord. You don't have to do that, because either we're going to sit at this table and we're going to talk like adults, or I'm just fixing to flip this thing upside down and we can go from there. But the choice is ultimately yours.
Yep. It took a long time to figure out that these big mouths are blessings, not curses. We just had to learn how to use our weapons appropriately.
That part.
So tell me a little bit about how you would focus on property tax issues. I know property taxes are crazy. It's just going up. And I know Harris County in particular is number one. The poverty line is just, the poverty level is so high in Harris County. And with these,
especially in my district.
Okay. And then the property taxes are going up. So we're literally pricing people who may have already paid in full for their homes and have been there for decades, are still at risk of losing their home. So how would you address that issue?
So I had this bright idea long before I even ran for office. Remember when they did that TikTok ban and they shut TikTok down, and then we got on Shang Hung Shu and we realized that the Asians actually liked us and they didn't hate us? Yeah. Well, I found out, China is a communist country, but their poverty is like almost null and void. So I got to doing some research and I said, how is their poverty so low? How is this possible? They don't have property taxes. Yeah. And I said, we need to eliminate property taxes. This can help us. So I got to doing some research and I was like, okay, well, property taxes, it goes to the school, and then you have your roads and bridges, and then you got the county, and you got this, you got that. And I was like, okay, so if I take this tax away, how am I going to reallocate those funds? Because we need money for our schools. Definitely.
Alignment, you got to fix some roads.
Exactly, girl. I'm griping about Antoine and Little York right now. Like, wait till I go to that town hall meeting. But how are you going to, if I decide to eliminate property taxes, where am I going to get this money from to allocate these funds? Luxury tax was the first thing on my bucket list. And when I say a luxury tax, I'm talking about lottery, tobacco, alcohol.
Yeah.
Start upping the taxes on these things and create an actual luxury tax. I'm not talking about on like foods. I'm not talking about like on your health care, because these are the things that we need, right? Mm-hmm. And I really want to legalize marijuana and heavily tax that, because that is such a lucrative business.
Yeah.
Like, why are we still putting people in jail when we could be making money if they're out here? Yeah. I know that sounds horrible. I know that
no, it actually does
really bad. But if we go with this luxury tax, instead of making people, you know, work 30, 40 years to pay off their home, but then you still have to make some type of income just to pay your property tax.
Yeah.
So your house that you worked for all your life doesn't get taken. Let's take a luxury tax and let's start pulling from different avenues into this bucket for this luxury tax to fund our schools, to fund our roads and bridges, to help our counties out, because it's elderly people. You know, some elderly people don't even know that they can get an exemption when they're over the age of 65 and they're still out here paying taxes.
My grandparents were in their late 60s when they found out.
Yes, like I canvassed a neighborhood out here in the north of the district 3 weekends ago, and we were talking about property taxes. And I said, ma'am, you know, I'm not trying to be in your business. I said, but how old are you? She said, I'm 78 years old. I said, and you're 13. You don't have an exemption. You didn't get an exemption when you're 65.
Damn.
She said, no. I said, this is my contact information. We need to meet tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I can get you to the county so you can get this exemption, because a lot of our elders are on SSI, or, you know, they're living off of money that either came from like retirement or maybe some investments or something like that, but they're not making wages like we do anymore. Yeah. And this property tax is just depleting them. Create a luxury tax and tax high and make big corporations, because do you know who our governor is? These people aren't paying their taxes. The rich aren't paying their taxes. Did y'all see the propositions on the ballot?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Make them people pay their taxes.
Yeah.
If we create a luxury tax, big corporations and like these big businesses are doing their due diligence, honey, property taxes can be null and void in the state of Texas.
That would be
Absolutely.
A thing of beauty.
You know, I have a friend here in San Antonio who, you know, everybody was like real excited because HEB had came out and donated, you know, millions of dollars, you know, and that's something that's great. But I think what kind of like unsettled some people is that there was like a lot of worship going towards HEB, and she kind of made like a point, like, okay, they didn't just wake up one morning and decide to be generous, like they were kind of nudged into doing that. They weren't really like it. It wasn't out of the goodness of their heart. There was something that was there, and then it's like, okay, you were sitting on all this money, and it kind of exposed it the way exactly the way it did during COVID, is that a lot of these corporations, I mean, you know, everybody wants to run a successful business, but I think when you hoard everything at the top, it's and then you have these emergency situations that just completely expose all of your riches and, you know, your fat stacks. Like, it's just, it's crazy. It's like, yeah, good, but at the same time, you had this money already.
You want to know the secret that I think a lot of people don't know? People wonder how it is that when these emergency situations happen, HEB can cut a $6 million check. They're writing that off in taxes. I'm telling y'all right now.
Oh, yeah.
But they are writing it off in taxes.
They did not become a multi-billion-dollar corporation by keeping tight margins, which means they've been ripping us off the entire time they've existed, and this big fat stack of gold they're sitting on that they can dole out to us one coin at a time for a natural disaster or emergency makes them look like heroes. Meanwhile, they're sitting on all our damn money, and that's
exactly
these companies. So you guys have got to stop with this hero worship of billionaires, tech people. You guys, Elon Musk is, I'm going to say a bad word, is mentally disabled. He is not a genius. He is not a genius. He has stolen people's ideas and profited off of them because he had the money being backed by an emerald miner's father to do that. So we have got to stop worshiping these idiots with this money and start looking to people like Tovar, like Dominique, who live in the same world that we do and who want to make a change for us. This hero worship is not saving anybody. It's just keeping us slaves to some bullshit that we can never achieve. And I'm telling you right now, Elon Musk doesn't care if you die. He doesn't care if your kids eat. He doesn't care if you pay student loans or your mortgage.
You see what's going on in the government shutdown. And see, let me tell you something. That's what I'm talking about when I say your Texas legislators. Oh, y'all. Oh. If your Texas legislators would stop making you damn campaign promises and really do some damn work at that Capitol about something that was important, if they stop being bought out by lobbyists and really work for the people, why has nobody closed these loopholes on big corporations and multi-million-dollar businesses when it comes to these taxes? As long as they cut $6 million checks, like they're doing HEB, prime example, as long as you're cutting $6 million checks, you're going to be able to write that off in your taxes. Stop letting them write off so much in their taxes and make them pay their money.
So I feel like it's a pretty safe bet. The answer to the question I'm about to ask you, would Dominique M. Payton ever accept a check from AIPAC?
I'm not going to be able to. And let me tell you why. When you start to accept money, and this is from any PAC, y'all, I'm telling y'all, like, I'm about to drop gems on y'all that they really don't want y'all to know. When you start taking money from certain people, you better know that there are strings that come with that. And let me tell you something. You cut me a check too big, and I'm going to look at you like, what you want?
You mean
because
like
I will compromise, but I will never sacrifice. No, And let me tell you something. I know people right now who are trying to, they see where I'm headed. And when people see where you're headed, they kind of want to cling on to you. And they love to try to tell Dominique Micaela what she's going to do when she gets in that seat. Sweetheart, you think I woke up one day and said, oh, I want to be your next state representative? Hell no. I said I wanted to be your next attorney. I wanted to be your next attorney general. That's what I said. And God said, whoa, grasshopper, let's take a detour over here real quick. And I was like, no, I cannot, no. He kept dropping it in my spirit, dropping it in my spirit. God called me to this. He did not call me to fall in line with everybody else, be bought out and paid for like everybody else, and I lose sight of the people. Because when you start taking money from certain people, sweetheart, your constituents get put on the back burner.
Yep.
Your community gets put on the back burner.
Yep.
I'm telling y'all what I know.
It's at the end of the day, if you are getting paid by these people, you work for those people.
Hello, somebody, and I'm the boss of this show. This is the Dominique campaign.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, you're absolutely correct. It's like when somebody gives you money, you know, there's even if it's said or not, there's that automatic idea. Okay, I'm gonna come back for that later, you know. But here you go. There's something.
Exactly. That's what it is. Oh, remember when I cut you that $10,000 check for your campaign to help you get in office? Yeah, I'm going to need that favor. Yeah, I'm sorry, Charlie. You got the wrong one.
Oh, it's like these Argentina bailouts. Do we know why Argentina is being bailed out? Anybody?
Y'all, when I found out that man really sent that money over there.
Dominique, do you know why he sent it?
Why did he send that money over there?
It's not because Argentina is dying, so we can all just take a deep breath and relax. Argentina will be there tomorrow. It's because Scott Bessent invested in a hedge fund in Argentina. And when their economy crashed, he lost his money. So Trump is bailing out Scott Bessent to get his money back from his investment in Argentina.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
There's this story that came out, man. Politics got crazy this week. So I don't know if y'all saw, but Scott Bessent came out and he was talking about like fighting somebody. I gotta go look at the story again. But they're
I've heard
like,
he got in a fight with Elon too.
yes, the same guy.
Y'all notice Elon been quiet.
Yeah, they shut him up. Praise
God.
I'm a little worried about that though, because his money still has tentacles. He still has tentacles out there. But
he still hasn't come back from saying that, you know, he's gonna primary anybody to run against a Republican. So we'll see what he does with it. I don't know.
Did y'all see where that man said that he was gonna create his own political party?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep. Anybody want to join?
And let me tell you something. Just put a pin right there for 5 seconds. That in itself spoke volumes, because he is gung-ho for the Republican Party right now. But when things went south, he didn't run to the Democrats. He said, I'm going to start my own party. I'm telling you, man, it is bad on both sides. I don't care what nobody says.
Oh, yeah. We were just talking about that before we came on. How, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to be super controversial because I am a registered Democrat and I am a progressive. The DNC needs to go away. The DNC needs not to exist. The DNC is the reason we have had this homunculus as a president twice now. It's because of the DNC. And you could not convince me that the DNC and the RNC are not in bed together and decide who's going to win that election before we ever get there. They both need to go.
Let me tell you, when I tell you that's what I mean when I say flip up this table.
Yes.
Because when I say that this is not a Democrat and a Republican issue, like, we have to remember this is something that man made up.
Yes.
Put down the political attributes and look, I am human. You're human.
Yep.
We want to be able to pay our bills and take vacations and buy groceries and have our kids go to good schools and live in good neighborhoods where crime is down and where it's not us versus the police. And we want to be able to step outside and know that it's going to be okay. This is what we want.
Yeah.
But you're worried about Democrats and Republicans.
And it's crazy because it's like people don't know what like a straight line Democrat or a straight line Republican is anymore. Like those values aren't even cemented in the ideology of 2025. Like, it's not.
Okay, so the four of us, like our podcast team, we quiz each other. Because we all came into this with our political ideologies and our mindsets and our little labels of who we are and what we believe in. And we have all quizzed each other.
Okay.
And every time we do these political affiliation quizzes, we're all the same shit.
Really?
We are all the same thing. We all agree with the same things. We all want the same things. We all hope for the same things. We're all pissed off about the same things. And we are progressives, conservatives, independents, unaffiliated. Like there's... And what that shows you, it's all bullshit. It's all
when I tell you
bullshit.
Political parties are a social construct.
What you just said. Okay, so one, did y'all see where I think 2-3 weeks ago, the Republicans came to the Capitol to literally have a meeting? Y'all, I can't make this up right now. They had a meeting. The Republicans had a meeting about who they were going to push out. The Republicans are pushing out Republicans.
Yep.
Did you see that? Because they did not line up with their die-hard conservative beliefs. Do y'all see? I don't know if y'all keep up with Bernie Sanders. He's an independent, but I love me some Bernie.
Love Bernie.
Because Bernie's kind of like right there in the middle, and so am I. Yep. And did y'all see where... What is his name? The speaker.
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson.
No, not him, for Texas. The Republicans.
Oh, Justin Burrows.
Yes. So did y'all see where he was literally talking about getting rid of certain Republicans because they did not follow that die-hard conservative belief? I said, the Republicans are getting rid of the Republicans now? Like, it is control. You want to control everything. And there are more people nowadays because the Democrat and the Republican parties, just like you said, those beliefs, those ideologies, they do not line up with what they used to be. And there are more people who are smack dab in the middle these days than that are too far left and too far right.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure. And we just got to bring them all back in. You know?
I'm telling you.
Them all back into the center.
I'm trying.
One big hug for everybody. One big hug.
Everyone bring it in the center. Bring it in.
Everybody group hug right now.
Please, y'all, because I'm tired.
No, for real. It's so much hate, like even with the SNAP benefits and everything that's going on. And I'm just like, listen, at one point or another, the majority of people have been on these benefits. Why are you looking down on people? Stop it. Yeah. Like, I just want to thump them.
It takes one bad week for you to not be able to pay your bills, for you to not be able to go to the doctor, for you not to be able to pay the babysitter or your mortgage or whatever the case may be. One bad week.
And it should not be like that. Oh, it should not be like that.
Yeah.
And that's just not Texas. That is literally over. When I was doing that research and looking at the property taxes in China and everything, over 50% of Americans are one paycheck away from being homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's like, we were talking about this before and I should have looked it up, but I feel like there's a lot more people who are living paycheck to paycheck than probably there's ever been. And I feel like people aren't saving, or they can't save the way they used to anymore.
That's what it is. They can't. Everything's high.
Yeah, everything's super high. And then, like, let's say you have a car and I don't know, alternator goes out. Like, Jesus, now you gotta that's like, $500. Where's that gonna come from? Like, that is
a real thing. I face those issues, y'all. Like, that is why I don't know. I don't know if y'all follow me on social media, but one of the things that, Jennifer, I know that you do. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I'm big on is, and let me tell you something, sweetheart, I'm gonna solve all of Donald Trump and Greg Abbott's problems with these SNAP benefits, because we're going to raise minimum wage. Do you realize, with the way that inflation has been going over the last 10 years, if we were to raise minimum wage to keep up with inflation, minimum wage would be $21 an hour right now?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It would be $21 an hour. And let me tell you this, I'm kind of going back and forth about this, because that equality word, like, I'm super big on it. And the Republicans and Democrats, they don't know what that word means at all. Like, at all. They don't know what that word means. And what I want to do with minimum wage is, I come from a rural area like Wascom, Marshall, Tyler, East Texas, right? It's not as expensive to live out there as it is here in Houston. Back in East Texas, my apartment was a 4-bedroom, 1-bath, and I paid $970 for it. Out here in Houston, my 4-bedroom, 2-bath on the second floor, $1,800. Okay. Big culture shock, right? So I want to propose that in these rural areas, we raise the minimum wage to $17 an hour. And in these big cities like Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, all these big areas, $21 an hour starting out as minimum wage. And then, like, well, Dominique, if you raise minimum wage, everything else is going to go up. Sweetheart, everything else has been up. And your governor is so crooked that he cannot manage to keep inflation down in Texas to save his life. He can't keep nothing down in the state of Texas. Okay. So if we increase minimum wage, you know how many people are going to come off of SNAP benefits?
Oh, dude, the majority.
Do you realize that if we take childcare and make it free for 0-year-old all the way until pre-K, when they're able to start public school, do you know how many mothers would be able to go and actually work a really good paying job, or go and get an education to be able to work a good paying job? If we extend after school hours for childcare from ages kindergarten to 6th grade, because I feel like that's a good enough age. You can be at home, watch yourself. If you extend those hours to 8 o'clock at night, do you know how many parents can go to work and they don't have to worry about childcare? Yep. So we need to expand our childcare, raise the minimum wage, make a universal health care, and create a luxury tax. Yeah. This is going to stop a lot of problems in the state of Texas.
Yeah, it's like they want they just want all the adults to just like work, but they don't want no one to watch these damn kids.
Hello, somebody.
All those kids that we're supposed to have because we're forced birthers now.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what people don't understand is when you increase the minimum wage, yes, it does increase overhead for small businesses, but now you have people with liquid capital to go reinvest into their communities. So not only are you paying individuals better, businesses are making more money because those people have more funds that they can play with. That's how it's trickle up economics, you guys. It's not trickle down. It's the opposite way.
Exactly. And see, that's another thing, because I'm big on small businesses. Like right now, even as I'm campaigning, I go into small businesses and I'm shaking their hand, just like I'm knocking on a constituent's door. And I'm like, hi, I'm Dominique and I'm running for Texas House. I'm big on small businesses because our small businesses, when I try to raise minimum wage, they will suffer. Their overhead, they will suffer. So I'm like, okay, once I raise minimum wage, what am I going to do? I've seen in my district, I cannot speak for everybody, just my district alone. They have a problem with getting access to capital. So, okay, Dominique, what can you do right now? Because I'm not your legislator yet, but what can I do right now that can help them gain access to capital? So right now I'm putting together a forum for like the SBA and Baker's Ripley. These are like, like organizations out here in Harris County where my small business owners can go out there and they can help them with marketing, scaling their business, getting them access to capital. And then when I become your legislator, I can work it on that level. But we can't just raise minimum wage and do nothing for our small businesses, because they will hurt really bad.
Yeah. Now, you did mention, I do follow you on social media.
Yes.
I did notice that you are interested in starting a podcast where we discuss reentry with rehabbed inmates. So can you tell me a little bit more about that and what got you interested in that?
Yes. So I don't know if y'all know, because right now all people know is that I'm a notary public and I go around stamping everything. But I come from the criminal justice world. My bachelor is in criminal justice. Okay. And I do plan on going on to be a prosecutor one day and then eventually a defense attorney. But
well, I don't want to be against you.
A lot of people tell me that. But what I've learned, because I was a parole officer when I came out of college, I worked for the county with juveniles first, and then I transitioned over into adult felons. And then when I moved to Houston, when I got on at Harris County, I was with pretrial. So it's kind of the same as parole, but it's before prison instead of after. And y'all, I have been impacted by this system since I was a little girl. Every time you turn around, I'm losing somebody to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with that agency. Yeah. And I've learned just from losing people in the system and then actually working in the system, these felons don't have a voice. Mm-hmm. And they intentionally suppress their voice, because I'm not sure how you equate committing a crime and rights to one another. I haven't made that correlation yet, but when they commit this crime, whether they did it or whether they're innocent, and they go inside that place. I don't know if y'all have ever been inside of a Texas prison before. I've been inside several, and it is rough in those spaces and places. And people are lost in the system all the time. Family forgets about you. Friends forget about you. The system doesn't really care about you. And so it hardens them. Yeah. And it creates,
and they get moved around from facility.
Yeah, they do. They literally treat them like animals. Like, you should look at some of the food that they're served. And not everybody gets visitation, from their families. And when they come out on this side, I know because I was a parole officer, if you don't have a good parole officer, your transition is going to be hard. I'm not going to say that it's not obtainable. I'm saying that it's hard. Yeah. And that's because if you take someone who's been institutionalized for 25 years, and then you try to throw them out into society, you give them a bus ticket, you don't give them their driver's license, you don't give them their birth certificate, you don't give them their social security card, you hand them a bus ticket, you put them on a TDCJ bus and you send them back home. How are they going to get a job? They're already a felon.
Yeah.
So don't nobody want to hire them. They don't have their birth certificate, their driver's license, their social security card. They don't have proper identification. Like, why are we not helping these people more? And so I had an idea literally the day that I posted that status. I cannot make it up, which was just yesterday. And I said, I know too many felons who people are not hearing what they really go through. Like, you just see someone who committed this crime. I said, you know what? I'm fixing to create a platform where these people have a voice and we can be real, raw, and unfiltered, because that is literally how I run my life. And I want to do it. So I'm going to do it.
I'm stoked. I'll watch it.
One thing that I think a lot of people either they don't understand, or it might be like a common misconception, is that felons lose their right to vote. And they don't. They
a lot of people believe that.
So you're so even after you do, you're able to re-register once you're done with all of your with all your being on paper and all that stuff. Once you're done with all of that, you're able to register to vote again. And I actually know a lot of felons who one are super involved in not involved, but they're like they're well read up on politics, like more than like the regular person. Right. But they have like this opinion and they got this idea that they can't vote. And then they realize that they can vote, and it's like all of a sudden they have a voice. So yeah.
Yes, I'm just like, I was out canvassing one day, and y'all, so my aesthetics fool a lot of people. And I can't help that because this is how God made me. Okay. But I am who I am at the core. Baby, there is no change in Dominique Micaela. Okay. So I'm out canvassing, getting signatures to get on the ballot. And I was like, oh, y'all, there's a lot of people out here. Come on, let's turn up in here. And so we're turning up in here, and I'm putting the car in park, and they just all looking at me like,
the heck
Dominique, this the hood. So what that means? It's people out here and I need these signatures. Let's run it. And so we get out there, and this man was looking at me like he said, little Miss Lady, are you lost? And I said, no. Why you ask that? He said, because what is someone like you doing in this part of town? I said, sir, hi. My name is Dominique Payton, and I'm running for Texas House District 139. I'm looking to be your next state representative. Can I get your signature to get on the ballot? Are you registered to vote? No. Oh, I'm a felon. I can't vote. I said, let's have a whole civics lesson right now. And I literally registered 7 felons to vote and got those signatures, because who can't vote, baby? As long as you off them papers, you ain't on parole, you done did your time.
Yep.
Let's get it. Let's run it. Because yes, you do have a voice, and I need you to exercise that at the ballot, and I need your vote.
Dude, that's amazing.
Are you serious, Miss Payton? Girl, I'm pulling up the Texas law and everything to show them, because for some reason my word wasn't good enough. Right. And I was like, look, man, go look for yourself. Like, yes, you can't vote.
Believe me? You want to look at my phone? Okay, here, look at my phone.
I'm telling you, like, that is me, y'all. Like, if y'all were to really like just ever see me out here canvassing, because in my district, 43% of the district are Hispanics, and 38% of the district is African American, and then the rest is like Anglo and Asian American. When I tell you, some of these parts that I go in, they stereotype me so bad. And then when they look at me and they talk to me, they're just like, oh my God, she's like a regular human like us. Duh. Duh. Y'all put these politicians on these pedestals and created these superstars. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, because baby, I'm regular, degular, smuggler.
Okay. I know Harris County ISD got taken
Girl.
over by the state. They're about to do the same thing in Tarrant County. Okay, so I know you are really big on public education. I know that is a huge part of your platform.
Yes.
How are you going to get control of HISD back to the district?
Y'all, TEA came in and took over Houston, I think 2 years ago.
Yep.
It may even have been longer than that. And I'm going to be so transparent. It has done this.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what the problem is, y'all. Their problem, they claim that they took over the district because test scores were extremely low. And, you know, Houston ISD is the largest district in Texas. Like, literally, it is the largest district in Texas. And they were getting so much money. And TEA was just like, we're giving you all of this, but what are you doing? Like, but what they failed to realize is you cannot put all this on Houston ISD. You need to go look at your state legislators if you want to put the blame on somebody. And let me tell you something, I'm running to be a state legislator, okay? And I will tell you firsthand that if these state legislators would stop all that riffraff and stop trying to push agendas when it comes to our public education, you would see HISD come up. Because let me tell you something, I don't know how old y'all are, and I don't care about talking about my age because people think I'm 19 regardless of what I tell them. I'm 31 years old, okay? I graduated from Kilgore High School in East Texas.
Yes.
Back then, we were taking tax test, okay?
Yep.
We didn't have all this star, all right? We were, my class, 2013, we were the guinea pigs for the state of Texas when they rolled out that star, all right? Yeah. I was against it then, and I'm against it now. And if you think I'm lying, go back and look at the statistics, because when it comes to public education, I'll argue anybody down. 10 years ago, when we were taking tax, our reading was up, our math was up, our science was up, our social studies was up. Our children were reading at grade level. They knew how to do arithmetic, and they could literally write, not type out on these electronics. They could write papers back then. You cannot fault these children for your legislators' mishaps. Yeah. Because when they decided to implement the STAR test, that is when we seen everything come down drastically. And Houston ISD just happened to be the bullseye point because they're a very large district. If you would take away this stupid STAR test, because it's stupid, it is so stupid and it gives our kids anxiety, okay? Yep. If you will take away this STAR test, take away all these damn electronics, and go back to where we used to have to pick up pen and paper, and you would actually have a book, the TX book, like that's the actual book that the teachers teach out of. Yes. TX actually matches what's on that test. Baby, TEA wouldn't have to take over nobody, because what people are failing to realize with our Texas public schools, it's real easy to blame them superintendents. It's real easy to blame them teachers and say that they're not doing their jobs. Do y'all know how much state is in public schools now? Do you realize that there are people in Austin that don't know a damn about nothing, who will tell you how to run a classroom, and you don't know nothing about nothing. You don't know how these kids struggle. You don't know how these kids learn. You're constantly trying to take the one size fits all and put it on these kids. Honey, times have changed. Yep. You cannot do that. It is going to start, I'm telling y'all, it's going to start with your Texas legislators getting a damn backbone and actually standing up and saying, y'all, the numbers are there. We are failing our children, because TEA is going to come in. You're going to see it in Dallas County. You're going to see it in Fort Worth. It might even come to San Antonio next, because what they're wanting to do is they are wanting to push the agenda to make the Republicans look right on why we don't need public schools. Yep. And they are going to continue to create these tests. Yep. That our children are not going to be able to pass. Like, you're wanting them to fail. You're wanting TEA to come in and take over these districts. That's what these Republicans want. Yeah. Yep. The legislators have to, I'm telling y'all, these legislators have to get off their high horses Go into a Texas public school. Go sit and really listen to what's being taught. Because I go to my kids' school.
Yeah.
I'm not going as a legislator, though, or somebody running for office. I'm going as a parent. Y'all, the Texas legislators are failing us when it comes to Texas public schools. And the Republicans are pushing an agenda.
Yep.
I'm telling y'all think TEA just came into Houston ISD one day because that's what they wanted to? No, it was preparation.
Yeah, they
were setting the stage.
And now then they've just passed in this last legislative session, they passed, everybody can be very excited. There won't be any more STAR test. So that's great.
No.
We have replaced it with 3 separate tests.
It's still the STAR test, but they've expanded it, and that's what they're not telling you. When people are like, "Oh, they got rid of the STAR test," no, the hell they didn't. No, they didn't. What they did is they took those tests now from 3rd grade to 8th grade. I think it's like 58 tests your child will take. They're smaller tests, but do you realize what that is fixing to do to our students?
To the teachers.
The
entire system is if it's not overloaded enough with daily bullshit. And another thing that I wanted to kind of hit on while we're talking about school, y'all have little ones. My kids are older, but I do have a 7th grader. He doesn't have homework. He doesn't have homework.
You ever wonder why?
Because they don't give a shit. He doesn't have homework. They don't care. They just they give them their iPads. They have them log into whatever the app is that their lesson's going to be in. They click on a few things, and that's the end of the day. My kid's in a magnet program. He's in a magnet program, and he doesn't.
It's the same thing in Texas public schools. My kids are, so I have my little 1-year-old, right? But then I also have a 12, an 11, and a 10 who are in 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. Honey, let me think. What is this? 25? COVID.
Yep.
Before COVID is when they had homework.
Yep.
And all of my children were not in school at the time. When I tell you, I have teacher friends. These teachers are, and I'm not just saying this, y'all. I know it sounds so cliche, but I'm not just saying this. These teachers are literally overworked and underpaid. This is our future, y'all, that we're talking about. Why are we not investing in it? You want to know why? Somebody pick me. I'm going to tell you why. We're not investing in our future because a society that is educated is not a society that is very easy to control. And as long as we rip apart and dismantle the Texas the Texas public schools, you rip apart and dismantle the Department of Education, we don't have to educate these people anymore.
Yep.
Therefore, y'all, I'm telling y'all, we be on here all night because I see where I'm going with this, but I'm just gonna say that a society who is not educated is a society that is easy to control.
Yes.
And that's the agenda.
Ducks.
And it's
Stop
worked.
being ducks.
And you could see
it has worked.
You could see that in today's society.
I mean,
it's clear.
The elections themselves are proof of that. Just the
somebody
now is proof of that.
Yeah.
Do you my grandfather? The reason that I vote is because my grandfather, from the time that I could remember, would bring me with him to the polling station. I don't know what the hell he was doing. And when it came time for me to finally register to vote and vote, I did whatever he told me to do for a while. But at the end of the day, it was part of the routine. And my family was proud of it. And if you had the ability to vote and to make your voice heard and impact your community, it was something that you were proud of. And I think something happened. And we've talked about this before. I'm 44. So I think something happened.
You look good.
Thank you. I think something happened in the 90s when everything was so chill and we weren't panicking about everything that we became complacent. And then technology happened and we got sucked into that. And the way that we got paid and the way that we were influenced and the things that we wanted and needed, all of this stuff sort of evolved to the point that we're not really focused on the root of the things that actually impact our lives, which is our government. And that was intentional. And I think that we're finally starting, like me personally, trying to just wake up to that a little bit and start to spread that message and kind of reignite the interest in what is actually going to make our country better. And it's not Coca-Cola, and it's not Taylor Swift, and it's not Elon, and it's not a golden ballroom, you guys.
It's not. It's everyday people like you and I stepping up to the plate and saying, enough is enough. We're done with the charades. Because when I tell you that whole quorum break, y'all would just have to go watch me on social media because I rant and rave so much. I'm just like, Lord, the Capitol's not ready for me, but they better get ready. When they did that quorum break, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Those charades, those antics, those tactics. We are so tired of these politicians doing these type of things, and you're skipping out and forgetting about the people that you're actually there to represent. I am tired of it. What's his name? Dave Phelan. Y'all know who that is?
Dave Phelan, yeah.
I respect that Republican. And let me tell you why. Because Dave Phelan said, I called a town hall and my constituents told me to vote against school choice. And I voted against school choice and made bad blood with Greg Abbott. Guess what, honey?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for having a damn backbone.
Yep.
I am proud of you for not bowing down to Greg Abbott, because that is the problem in politics these days. When I tell you they need to cap these terms, they need to cap these campaign funds, cap it all, because as long as they're able to thrust money into those PACs, y'all, these poor hustling ass politicians are going to continue to move this money around the way that they do. And these people would continue to stay in office when people like you and people like I, who never even ran for office, are now stepping up and saying, we're tired, but we don't have $90 million in our campaign account.
Yeah.
Start putting caps on everything. You'll get these people up out of here real quick.
Yep.
That's another
real quick.
Thing, guys. Democrats, I'm talking to you as a registered Democrat. I need to vote for you, but I will not unless you light a fire under that ass and start working for me. And I'm talking about throwing some punches when we are in front of our Republican friends that we're going to go golfing with this weekend. You better vote against their asses when it serves me. Period. And I don't want to see this little pussyfooting around and not being willing to say the word genocide, sir. Certain people.
Because you know they hate genocide.
Bro, listen, you better be willing to say some words that hurt people's feelings, or I'm not going to give you my support. I'm done with it.
I'm telling you, because let me tell you something. That's the problem. That is the problem with the Democrats that are in the Texas House right now. And I know that I'm going to have to work with some of these people. But guess what, baby? One thing I know, two things for sure. Working around Dominique, baby, you going to get some tough skin and you going to get a backbone about yourself, because I'm not going to stand by and you continue to railroad these people, especially not my people. Yeah. I'm a mother, okay? And you cannot try to come up against mine without thinking we're not about to tussle. Yeah. Same thing is going to go for Texas House District 139. When I inherit this district, these people are my responsibility. These people look to me to be the voice at their capital. Who gonna be quiet?
Yes.
Not Dominique Micaela.
All right, Miss Ma'am, we have a tradition on this show. We have the previous interviewee leave a question for you, and then you'll leave one.
Really? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So your question is, what is your happiest memory and how does it impact your life today?
I'm going to say my happiest memory is when I walked that stage and got that bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Because I'm a first generation graduate. I was the first one to go to college in my family. And I always knew that I was destined for greatness. And that degree in itself has opened up doors for me to even be able to stand here today, like to sit on this interview today, and to be able to have this conversation, to be able to go into certain rooms where I impact certain systems, to give them a different, way of seeing things, or to try to get a different belief about something. Because you have to go with time, right? You have to be able to roll, and you have to be able to be innovative. And if I had to say it was, man, I cried for a week straight because I just knew I was breaking generational curses, and I'm putting myself in a position to be able to represent in a better way. So it was definitely walking that stage.
That's amazing. And what is your question for the next person? It can be anything, literally anything.
Oh, let me think. Oh, damn, it's so broad. Do y'all only interview candidates from Texas?
Right now we are, yeah.
Okay, so it'll probably be a Texas, somebody who lives in Texas. Okay. My question is, if you could change one thing in Texas to make it better for everybody, what would it be? And how would you do it?
Legalize
That's
it.
a good one.
I'm sorry. Was that for me? I'm sorry. Was that for me? My bad. Okay.
Listen, it can be. Because listen, I ask people that question, especially, you know, when they find out that I'm running for this seat. I'm just like, oh, honey, I got a slew of things that I'm trying to change. But if you had one thing that you could change in Texas to make it good for you, for me, for her, what would it be and how would you do it?
That's so good.
Yeah.
And Dominique, tell us how we can find you.
Go all over social media. I love it. Now I can tell people, Google me. And I'll pop up everywhere. But I definitely want y'all to check out my website at Payton, PAYTON TX-139.org. You will see all things about me, any events that I have. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Threads. And
she's about to be on the House floor.
Yes. But I'm all over the internet, and I'm really, really big on engaging, you know, with my followers. TikTok, Facebook, those are my two main platforms that I always operate on. But that's where you can find me.
That's
amazing. We would love to have you come back.
For sure.
Oh, baby, y'all know I go on that ballot in 9 days, 10 days. 9, what day is it? 10. I go on 10 days.
All right,
I go on that ballot, and I'm telling y'all, after I win that primary, because I ain't having a runoff with that lady, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell y'all about it. I'm gonna be like, yeah, because listen, this is a Democratic seat. Like, they never have a Republican challenger.
You know, we're in a very similar situation. We have to talk offline about this, but we were with Dominique Payton. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Texas House District 139. Get out your vote, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Dominique Payton. Check her out on all the socials, and we'll see you later. For now, later, everybody.